And then there's this famous cave in China called the Longyou caves, right? So they don't let you. The Chinese government do not let you go into these pyramids because like they don't. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Maybe they.
But what are they finding? Fucking
What are they finding?
etchings that are in another fucking country.
Exactly, bro.
Oh, I knew it, lad. I fucking knew it.
So let me show you the Longyou caves, bro. Bro, it's fucked up.
No. Tell me there's some sacred geometry in that fucking caves, bro.
Oh, there's like sculptures and all that stuff in here, bro.
Whoa. Look how massive that thing is, bro.
Let me tell you how big this thing is. So let me give you some context about the Longyou caves, bro. So there was this fisherman. He saw these massive koi fishes coming from this river, and he's like, "What the fuck is this, bro?" He was catching massive fishes, and he's like, "These things need like a proper habitat to be living, to be growing to this size, bro." So him and his villager mates decided to pump the water in from that little river, and it took like 2 weeks or something to pump all the water out. And then when they pumped it, finally they found stairs.
Oh.
They found steps that led to somewhere. So they started pumping it even more. So they pumped out all the water, and then they found the Longyou caves.
No.
And this is what they find. And look at the Chinese hieroglyphs.
Yeah, they found this
They
shit
found
underwater, bro.
This shit underwater, bro. This thing is massive, bro.
There's a fucking dragon there, bro.
Bro, there's a fucking... Oh, but there's the story about the dragons too, bro.
Oh.
So, across all cultures, there's depictions of dragons.
Dragons, yeah, bro.
And people slaying
It's
dragons.
in fucking China. It's in UK. Like, it's fucking dragons everywhere, bro.
Remember I was talking about that boneyard of Alaska guy that found all the mammoth bones and all that stuff?
Yeah.
He also says in when he blasts it, he sees the charcoal layer as well in this place. And he believes this is the place where all the dead animals got washed up to. There's like a pot where the flood just happens to like flush all these dead cats there.
Yeah.
And then Rogan's like, "Did you find people?" He's like, he's not allowed to say. Because if he's the
Fuck yeah, you found people, bro.
Because he said the moment he says it, the government comes in.
Yeah.
Very clever.
Yeah.
Very clever, bro.
Yeah.
And he found intact mammoths. Full intact skin and everything. Bro,
Whoa.
it's so preserved, they're fucking eating it as jerky, bro.
Lad.
Yeah. It's so preserved. Yes, so
He's
many-
fucking eating mammoth meat.
They're eating mammoth. Cured mammoth meat, bro. Bro, it's fucking wild, bro. So, see how there's depictions of dragons in these Longyou caves, right? And you can see the size of
You
this
can tell
thing.
it was underwater too because you can see the roof has the ripples.
Oh, wait, no, let me tell you this. The roof. So, across all cultures.
Oh, it's getting deeper, bro.
It just keeps getting deeper, bro. You see these groove patterns everywhere.
Yeah.
In the pyramids, in like ancient sites where they seem, it appears, it looks like that's how they cut the excess material off. It leaves this kind of pattern behind. And I'll show you a clip of the pyramids and how absurd they are after this too, bro. So, remember how they were talking about the dragons, right? That boneyard of Alaska guy was saying he found something.
Yeah.
I guess, I'm not gonna spoil it. I'll show you in the clip.
Oh.
Bro, this is wild, bro. Yes.
Fuck.
Ice Age. But one of my most significant finds ever is a blue feather. A blue feather. I have it on my site someplace. That was buried deep inside the hollow end of a 10-foot mammoth tusk that was under 65 feet of overburden in the gravels. And, when you're cleaning out a tusk, when you get it out of the ground and the material starts to dry, we put clamps on those tusks so as they dry, they don't split. And out of the end comes this blue feather. That's it. People go, "What's your most significant find ever?" I go, "That blue feather."
Is that a peacock?
I don't know what the fuck that is. People go, "Why don't you carbon date it?" Okay, well, there's not a whole lot left of it now, so let's burn it all the fuck up so we can know how old it was.
You have no idea what that is?
Have no clue. But I've heard from paleontologists, you can call this one, that's impossible. There were no birds up here with blue feathers during the Ice Age.
So,
but I see
I've
yellow.
always wondered that.
I see yellow in there too, though.
Yeah, there's yellow in there for sure. I've always wondered that in terms of like how they know, like the fossil record is fascinating to me because it's not easy for things to become fossils. It's very difficult. It requires very specific circumstances, and most things, the vast majority of things, never become fossils.
Yeah.
You know, there's the Forrest Galante. There's a, see if you can find this video. He thinks that dragons might have been a real thing.
I think he could be onto something there.
He says if you look at the same period of time throughout Europe and in Asia, they were all drawing the same thing.
Yeah.
And there's people battling the same thing. And he said if you had an animal that had very thin bones because it could fly, the same as a bird does, and they died and they weren't fossilized, there'd be no record of them.
Yeah.
There'd be nothing left.
Yeah.
Nothing
And he thinks it's really possible that at one point in time that was a real animal. Here, play this.
Giant, scaly animal that could fly. So when you break that down, you think about the fact that large birds had a hard time being fossilized because their bones are so porous, right? So because bones, they have like hollowish bones, they break down very easily and they don't fossilize. So the group that says this, basically they're saying the evidence is the reason there's no fossils of dragons is because they had bird bones and they were actually very delicate animals. But a handful of these small population of these giant flying lizards existed and basically encompassed all these different countries where they all depicted fighting dragons in their own way, and they were all killed off by, knights or whatever it is, and then didn't fossilize.
What?
So it's like the science is saying that if there were lizards big enough to fly around and eat people, they didn't have bones that could fossilize.
So it'd be like an eagle.
Right. And that's why, all these human populations around the world have depictions of them, because they did actually exist.
Lad.
Oh, bro.
Bro. It's a full thing, bro. Like, there's no way that dragons did not exist, man.
Bro, and then they're like, why can't we find them? Because if the Earth got hit by an asteroid, all the bones would be burned.
Gone, bro, yeah. Gone, bro. And there wasn't enough time for it to fucking sit under a rock.
No.
And,
No,
Nah,
and
bro,
to get
everything
preserved
melted.
like that, bro. And then when they did the soil sample, the carbon dating, that it matched nothing on the planet.
but it sat inside a dense fucking bone.
Bro.